To install the Nuna Pipa Base, first we're going to start with it turned upside down so I can show you the important parts. First, we have the load leg. You want to try to use that at all times. There are situations where you might not be able to, specifically in the center of the car, where the floor is elevated like it is here. You might not have enough room for the load leg. And the other time it is prohibited is when you have a hollow floor, like a Chrysler minivan with stow-and-go seats, or there's some other vehicles that also have a hollow floor. But otherwise you're going to want to use it. The way the load leg adjusts, it will extend down on its own, and you can see it will lock in to these positions. To make it shorter, you're going to grab this gray button and pull up. The other thing we have on the underside of the base is the recline foot, which is this part right here. Pull hard, and it swings out. If you ever need to put it back in, you're going to push on this little tab, and it goes back down. Usually, the base will sit more reclined with this extended, but bizarrely, there are some cars where it will be more reclined with this tucked back in. So if you're having trouble getting the proper recline, play around with this in either of its positions and see which one is best in your car. And this video is going to show how to install the Pipa Base with the rigid latch system. So these are your lower anchor connectors. Latch stands for lower anchors and tethers for children. And the lower anchors are a way of connecting the car seat without using the seatbelt. So where these lower anchor connectors are going to attach to are the lower anchors in the vehicle. In this particular car, I have to fold down a fabric flap on the vehicle seat cushion, and then in there I can find the lower anchors. They're marked off with the universal symbol for the lower anchor, which is a picture of a child in a car seat. So once you've found your lower anchors, please know that almost every car only has the lower anchors on the two side seats. There are very few cars, less than 5%, that have the lower anchors for the center. Read your vehicle owner's manual to see where you have them. The car does need to be a 2003 and newer, typically, in the United States to have the lower anchors. So to attach it, if you notice, the connectors can move up and down. And if I just try to connect it, usually the vehicle seat cushion is going to push them at an angle where they're not going to connect to the bar. So what I need to do is I'm going to hold the connectors at this part so that I can control their angle. Use my index finger to feel where the bar is. You can see my thighs are on the back of the seat, and I'm going to use those to help me push the base into the car till it connects onto the lower anchors. So both sides are now connected. It's typically easier to do one side at a time, as you saw me do. I picked this side first and then this side. I'm going to check that there's green in the indicator windows on both sides to verify that both sides are securely connected. It's not just enough to check with your hands. Now I'm going to worry about the recline. If you look here, you have this carpenter level, and you want to have the bubble touching the black line. For a baby who cannot sit upright unsupported, we would like the bubble to be closer to this side, to the back of the car. That means the baby is more reclined. The closer the bubble is to this side, like if it looks like that, that means the baby is more upright. And babies who cannot sit upright unsupported should be as reclined as possible. Sometimes your angle might be off because your load leg was jacking up your base. If that was happening, you can see my base is not making contact here, and my bubble is way too far. It's not even touching the line. The way to fix that, lift the base up with one hand, lift the load leg by squeezing its gray button with the other, put the base back down, and lower the load leg back down. If you have a floor mat in your car, we recommend moving that away so that the load leg rests as flush to the floor as it can be. There's also a green and red indicator on the bottom of the load leg. Make sure that when you push down here that that's turned green. If it didn't, notch the load leg up one more notch and then check. So that's my installation. Now I need to show you how to get the seat out. So to get it out, stand behind the base. You're going to do one side at a time. I'm going to use my left hand here pushing down on the top of the base. I know that sounds weird to be pushing down. I'm going to take my index finger and my thumb. My index finger is going to be on the gray button here. Newer versions of the base will also have a gray button where my thumb is. I'm going to squeeze. You can see the indicator window turns to red, and I'm going to pull it back. Do the same thing here. Push down, squeeze, and pull back. if for some reason you get into a situation where you were trying to release one side and it just wasn't going, you can try the other side first. The other thing that sometimes happens is you'll get one side released and then the other side is giving you trouble. The trick is click that side back in and go to the other side first and then this side. The other trick as you go to get it out is to avoid, you don't want to swing the base like I just did here. That's going to make it very unhappy when you try to release that side. So as you go to get it out, just tilt it a little bit to get it out. And once you've released both, you're free and clear.